I don't know that we need wandering around open container situation.
Denver bars are expanding their reach. We're going 360.
I think it would help businesses.
I think it would really be a huge mistake.
Plus, Governor Polis makes his pitch for securing the All-Star game.
The Broncos raise prices.
A Metro County lifts a requirement that people wear masks outdoors. Colorado gun owners are held to higher standards.
And thieves put a group of wounded warriors and children with disabilities on ice.
Really took advantage of everybody busy playing the sport they love.
Good evening. So glad you're here with us this evening. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Jessica Porter. If there ever were a sign that normal life is within reach, it's that we've found time for old controversies again. And tonight's really feels like a throwback. The city of Denver is finalizing a plan to let businesses seal off their respective blocks so customers can walk from bar to bar, drink in hand. Think of this as a much smaller, much more contained version of Bourbon or Beale Street.
Restaurants certainly find this appealing. The people who live nearby are understandably hesitant. And we're just happy to think about people being around one another again. Denver7's Russell Haythorne tonight is going 360.
From beer halls to cocktail lounges, English pubs to tequila bars, drinking is already a huge part of our culture and community.
It's a wit beer. It's a Hawaiian. Beers to cocktails, wine.
Then that favorite pastime fell flat.
We didn't plan for a pandemic.
Now, a year later, as restaurants and bars start reopening, Denver is revisiting a new ordinance that will allow you to take your drink with you.
To be honest, I think it's a great idea.
I just think it's a really bad idea.
It works great.
I haven't really found many citizens of Denver that want this.
Like Vegas and New Orleans, common consumption laws allow you to walk out of a bar with your drink. The Colorado State Legislature approved the idea back in 2012, and Denver will start taking applications for common consumption areas this summer. So let's go 360 with neighbors who sense a brewing disaster, the city which believes it's a recipe for success, a bar that says it's too much, and we start at First Draft in Rhino, where they believe they're in a neighborhood perfect for taking a stroll with your beer or cocktail.
I kind of see some sort of like a festival kind of a spot, just little pockets in the city.
Jody Buffard agrees. She's the owner of Blush and Blue, an LGBTQ bar on Colfax.
Especially on Colfax, to be able to have customers come in, get a drink, and go watch any of the multiple parades that go by here during the year. I don't think it would hurt businesses. I think it would help businesses.
But right across Colfax at Streets of London,
I don't know that adding all of that is a great idea.
bartender Lindsay Wise-Kirk, who has been in the service industry for 20 years, says Denver is already boozy enough.
Keeping the booze inside is fine. We've got enough patios. I don't know that we need wandering around open container situation.
The city of Denver believes it will work.
And in that designated area, someone could go purchase a drink at the Italian restaurant and walk over to the area where you're allowed to drink, where someone, your friend, could have purchased a margarita from the Mexican restaurant. And so you don't have to separate anymore.
Rules would require a group of bars in any given area, like Park Ave and Colfax, to have a plan.
It sets these designated areas where businesses can form partnerships, which hopefully will help them recover after this pandemic.
But homeowners like Loretta Kaler remain skeptical.
It's a tough thing, and we want to make sure that it's working for neighbors also, not just for the bar owner.
Others see trash and overconsumption as potential issues.
Tennyson, that area like that, you'll always find beer bottles, wine bottles. Keep them in a patio or something like that. Socialize with everybody over there.
The city is poised to finalize the rules this week, and we could find out as early as late summer if these so-called entertainment districts hit the spot or come up empty. Russell Haythorne, Denver7.
So how about it? Is this a boost for business, a nightmare for neighbors? Is it both? Share your thoughts with us, please. An email, 360@thedenverchannel.com, or leave us a comment on Facebook.
Governor Polis would be more than happy to take the All-Star game off of Atlanta's hands. Major League Baseball pulled it from Georgia over a law that disenfranchises voters. Governor Polis believes the league will find plenty to like about Colorado's way of handling elections and tells Denver7 he is pushing the commish to move the game to Coors Field.
Now, you didn't think that extra home game was free, did you? The Broncos announced today season tickets will rise by an average of $55 this year. The season will feature 17 games. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell expects sold-out stadiums at all of them. Well, not everybody's so optimistic. The Great American Beer Festival will not return now until 2022.
The competition between brewers is still on, but organizers say there is no way they can safely host 60,000 people at the Colorado Convention Center in the fall. The decision to cancel certainly seems reasonable when you consider how we're currently handling the virus. Yes, the vaccine is largely keeping high-risk groups out of the hospital, but hundreds of cases and several deaths are still being reported daily. And it's not just Colorado. 46 people tested positive after visiting a bar in Illinois. Youth sports are also believed to be contributing to a rise in cases.
I understand that people are tired and that they are ready for this pandemic to be over, as am I. Please continue to hang in there and to continue to do the things that we know prevent the spread of the virus.
The U.S. is averaging 3 million shots a day. President Biden has pledged to administer 200 million doses within his first 100 days in office.
And FEMA is taking over a Colorado-run vaccine site at the state fairgrounds in Pueblo. The White House is also moving mobile clinics into the San Luis Valley and some other regions. Access is expected to jump from 1,700 shots a day to 3,000. Those changes are expected to take effect April 14th.
People in Jefferson County no longer have to wear masks outdoors. Doctors would prefer you continue doing so all the same. 2 Denver gyms have been cited by the city because customers weren't wearing masks. Fitco and CrossFit Wash Park are the offending establishments. They are among 79 businesses cited this year.
A woman hit and killed Saturday night in Lodo was delivering food at the time, one of the 2 jobs she worked to support her family. Jessica Marie Allen's vehicle was T-boned at 18th and Lawrence. Vehicular homicide charges have been filed against the person accused of hitting her.
I do wonder how fast he was going because it looked really bad, and I don't know what it takes to make something look like that, but it just seemed like they were just going way too fast.
And police do believe speed was a factor, but have not had said how fast that other driver was going. 66-year-old Leland Lewis of Lakewood has been identified as the pilot of a plane that crashed Saturday evening in Deckers. Lewis was found dead the following day. The NTSB arrived this morning to begin the investigation into the cause.
A bill requiring Coloradans to inform law enforcement when their guns have been lost or stolen cleared the state house today. The proposal is named for Isabella Thallis, who was shot and killed last year while walking her dog. The rifle used was allegedly taken from the home of a Denver police officer. That officer claimed he did not know the gun was missing until the shooting.
I believe yes votes give the people of this state a sense of hope. Will give them the thought process that we are listening, that we are prepared to do something.
It matters when we chip and chip and chip away at the freedoms that we have, all in the interest of a specific desire.
The bill passed 42 to 23 and will soon arrive on the governor's desk. Gun owners will be given 5 days to report a lost or stolen firearm. The max penalty for failing to do so is a $5,000 or $500 fine.
A bill that makes threatening or harassing an elected official or their families a felony cleared the state Senate today. This proposal was sponsored by Democrats and Republicans. It's heading to the House with near unanimous support. The chairman of a group tasked with redrawing Colorado's congressional districts has lost his leadership position because of social media posts in which he claimed the 2020 election was stolen. Danny Moore said he was simply expressing his opinion and that he is capable of approaching his role analytically. His colleagues disagreed. It's unclear, though, tonight if the board has either the authority or the appetite to remove Moore from the commission altogether.
President Biden's expansive, expensive infrastructure plan aims to improve everything from how we get around to the water we drink. Denver7's Megan Lopez explains what it would do for Colorado.
And thank you all for coming.
After signing the nearly $2 trillion American Rescue Plan into law last month,
Building a modern, resilient, and fully clean grid.
President Biden has unveiled another big plan with an even bigger price tag, this time targeting infrastructure. The American Jobs Plan calls for $621 billion to go toward transportation for projects Congressman Joe Neguse says would include work on I-25 and I-70.
The U.S. 36 corridor and the Northwest Rail.
But infrastructure goes beyond transportation.
It also means addressing the water infrastructure challenges.
Another $300 billion of the plan would go to water projects and calls for all of the country's lead pipes to be removed. It's an effort.
The lead reduction program is Denver Water's biggest public health initiative.
Denver Water is already pursuing.
It focuses on removing between 64,000 and 84,000 lead service lines in our water system.
But the current plan will take the department 15 years to complete.
We are definitely excited to hear about the upcoming infrastructure plan.
In the meantime, Denver Water has given out more than 100,000 free water filters for families. Beyond that, the American Jobs Bill includes $16 billion for capping abandoned oil and gas wells, money Congressman Neguse says states like Colorado could really use.
Capping of those orphaned wells would not just simply extend to federal lands, but could extend to state lands as well through a variety of different grant programs.
Colorado has 239 orphan wells that would cost $82,000 each to cap, or about $20 million total. And that doesn't include the more than 500 orphan well sites that still need to be cleaned up.
And our infrastructure is crumbling.
The president's plan is big and ambitious and already getting pushback. Republicans say it's too broad and too costly for businesses since a corporate tax hike would fund it. So before Colorado sees anything, Democrats and Republicans will have to debate it. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Coming up,
it's not all right.
Thieves steal a trailer full of gear they can't use.
To anyone else, it's useless.
Gear used by veterans and children with disabilities.
That is just somebody that has no compassion for other people and is completely selfish.
Toasty temperatures once again today, but colder weather and even some snow in the forecast.